Okay, here we have a 15 Escape with 38,968 miles on it. Find out how to shut this air off. Okay, customer complaint, check engine light. Okay. Escape titanium. Alright, let's guess. Why is the check engine light on a 2015 Ford Escape 1.6 liter? I'm gonna go evap code for a bad purge valve. That's what I see most of the time. That or a misfire, but I didn't feel a misfire when I was driving it in. Let's see. Uh-oh. I forgot about that. That's the second most right there. Engine, coolant, bypass valve, C, open circuit. That little bypass valve's bad. But that's the two most I see on these, or three most, is misfire. Let's see, number one would be the purge valve being bad. And number 2 and 3 is tied for this bypass valve or misfire. But that's the most things I see. Okay, ECM, PCM, power relay, de-energized, too early. Is that because of a bad battery? Battery voltage, below threshold, not current. Of course, a lot of these cars, let's see, this one is probably one too. They're from dealerships, so they set for a long time. Batteries go low and they'll set these codes, but. Okay, we got the water valve end, what Dorman calls it, bypass valve here, 902.055. Now, I know that I should have, checked my powers and grounds and stuff to this valve, and I used to, but I've never come across a problem yet in that area, and it's always been the valve, so I did not literally do a correct diagnosis because I've never ran into it. But you should, you should always check your wiring to make sure that you're going to be correct on your diagnosis. But this one's such a common failure that I didn't feel that I had to do that. Okay, so the valve is right there. Just push in on that yellow tab there, pull off your connector. Now you got a hose and you got two 8mm hose clamp and two 8mm. And I just have a drain pan underneath it. I haven't drained the fluid, the coolant or anything. Just got a drain pan under there. Alright, I had my hose clamp pliers out, but I think I'm gonna get my other hose clamp pliers, the cable ones. Better fit for this application. break our hose loose here. Okay. Get our 8mm swivel, our little 1/4 inch Milwaukee ratchet. Push our hose the rest of the way off. Alright, let me grab the ohm meter. This should show an open, gonna be my guess. So let's just go ahead and look at it just for the heck of it. I'll be done in just a minute.
So I have one more car, I can do that.
Okay.
Because I want to just do it.
Well, thank you. That was my co-worker over here whispering, saying, "You're making a video. I don't want to disturb you doing the tires." So hey, at least he was being nice and courteous about it. Alright, so we're going to set our ohm meter to ohms. I need to, I have a Mac ohm meter, but it don't show up very good either. But I got brake clean on this one, and so it's kind of hard to see, probably for the camera anyways. Alright, so nothing. I got it down there on each pin, and it didn't do anything to the meter. So now we'll check the new one. And this is what it's been every time I've did one of these, and I've did quite a few of them, is it's just an open circuit in the winding of this valve. This one has 10.1 ohms. So, and now that's a good way to check it, is just pull the plug off, put your ohm meter on the one that you're suspecting is bad on the car, and check it. That way you're not a parts changer, which I was on this one, but the only time I do that is if it's something real common, a very prone to failure part, then, you know, I kind of skip the 100% correct way to do it if I'm very confident that that's what it's going to be, you know. So, alright, so that was just showing you with the ohm meter how to test your valve. Now, if you do test it with the ohm meter while you're diagnosing it, and it tests good, then you would want to go and test your wiring, your powers and grounds, and make sure everything's good there. But on these boards with these bypass valves, I've never run into a wiring problem yet. Knock on wood, because that definitely does not mean that I won't at some point in the future. Okay. Just get your hose back on there, at least part way. Always get your bolts started by hand before you go and try to run them in. That way you don't cross thread. Then you could be in a world of trouble. Just run that one in there. Get the other one started. Turns by hand. Snug them down a little bit. Get my coolant hose pushed back on there all the way. Okay. Now, I hate these stupid spring clamps. I'm plugging my connector back in. Okay. Now on these spring clamps, I usually just take a hammer and a screwdriver, put it on that little locking piece. That I like replacing these, to be honest, because I have had many times, not so much on this exact application, but many times reusing these clamps had a leak, and then it's just a pain in the butt, you know. The main thing with these clamps is to get them exactly back in the same spot that you took them off, because there is a indentation in the hose in the shape of that clamp, and that's going to be your best sealing point. I'm going to get some 45-degree angle or 90-degree angle pliers, needle nose. Your best chance of it not leaking is to get it back in the exact same spot that you took it off from. So I'm just trying to turn that back to where it was. Now that I got it turned back over on that side, I can put my cable clamp down in there and position it exactly where I want it. Exactly where it was when I removed it. And you can just see the indentation in the hose. Okay, I'm going to say that's my best chance of it not leaking right there. And then when I can get to them, I'll take and try to spread these apart. And that just kind of tightens them up a little bit. But, alright, now we just got to fill it back up with coolant. And I don't think a whole lot came out. Okay, got that plugged in, we got our 2/8 tight, and we got our clamp on there. Okay, it looks like I have a download. Following updates have been downloaded successfully for my shop tools, so I'm going to go ahead and install that, and I'll be back. Okay, now we had the check engine light on in the car before. I kind of think since the circuit is good now that there's not even going to be a check engine light. Yep, it shut the light off by itself because it checked the system. It's got the right, so I shouldn't even have to do anything, you know, erase codes or anything, but just out of due diligence, I'm gonna hook up the scanner and make sure everything's okay. '15 Ford Escape front-wheel drive, 1.6 liter, 38,968 miles, engine, code menu, memory codes. That's the code that was for the engine coolant bypass valve, not current. And then that's the ECM, PCM power relay de-energized too early, which I'm thinking was from a low battery. So let's clear these codes. Key off or running. Codes cleared. Go back into memory codes. Self-test. No codes. Alright. So that's how you change a coolant bypass valve and how you can test the valve using your own meter. Just a side note, so this is the bypass valve right there that would change, and that is considered C. Now there is another bypass valve right down there. So, but this is the one that I always see that is bad, right here. And I'm not sure if that one is, I think it's A, I'm not 100% on that, but when it says C, it's talking about that one right there. Alright, I've got good heat. Temperature gauge is doing good. I'll call this one done. I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great day.